This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
I'm Will.
I'm Vic Blanco.
This is DWRelive.
And before we talk about Vic for however long Vic wants to talk, D-Dub, why don't you tell everybody about your channel? You there, D-Dub?
We lost him again.
I think we lost him again. I'll tell you guys about D-Dub then. D-Dub does retro content. He's been gaming since the early 90s and finally decided to share all of his amazing experiences for us. And after a long hiatus, he's coming back with some big videos, DWRelive style. There you go. Go subscribe, youtube.com/DWRelive.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I just stole your plug. Sorry.
All good. Hey, that was a beautiful introduction. Actually, what he just said, I 100% agree. So
it's that utility closet life. We get it.
Yeah.
It's the utility closet life right now. Exactly. I'm speaking to you guys live from utility closet.
In a utility closet in Japan, of all places.
Mm-hmm. The oasis of the utility closet. All right. Vic, why don't you talk about your channel before we get started?
All right, so I mean, this is the Wednesday show, so I've been on 2 episodes already. So if you, for some reason, have come to this episode because you want to know more about me, well, God bless you. But also, I just make videos. I'm not really sure exactly what direction I'm going in. I talk about what's on my mind. I try to make people laugh. I try not to piss too many people off, but it's gonna happen anyways, the internet. But I'm trying to be more innovative. I'm trying to grow every day. I take criticism as long as it's not like, you know, the usual fanboy kill yourself type stuff. But you know, if it's constructive, I'll do it, and I really will. I want to get better. So if you do check out my videos and you like me, it's gonna get better, I promise.
And you can find them at youtube.com/Vic Blanco Prods. VICBLANCOPRODS. I've gotten really good at spelling. I could probably win a spelling bee at this point. All right.
As long as you can read it off.
Exactly. Will, why don't you start that first question for us?
First question. What inspired you to create your YouTube channel?
It's actually kind of funny. I was doing stand-up comedy before, you know, the world kind of started burning down. And I was doing stand-up comedy and everything. And, you know, like just regular stuff, open mics, some paid, some not. And somebody came up to me backstage one time and they were just like, hey,
it's
you
Vic
know,
Blanco.
you should really try to do YouTube videos. And I was like, YouTube videos? I was like, what, like put my act up on YouTube? And they're like, no, your act sucks. But when people heckle you, you get good. You know, they're like, when you start just raging out and when people heckle you and you start going in on somebody in the audience, people like that. People, for some reason, people like a good roasting, you know? And I mean, 90% of the times it's going to result in somebody throwing a Heineken bottle at my head, but sometimes people like it. And so I figured, okay, I'll do that. And, you know, and they said, just do some like internet topics. You're already talking about life on stage. Why not just talk about stuff that you want to talk about? Things that kind of just like, you know, bother you on the internet. And I was like, yeah, it's an all right idea. You know, so I you know, I came in and like, it started off really lighthearted and I did like, you know, the first one was the Danielle Cohn video, which, you know, it doesn't matter what that was about. It's just like silly making fun of a kid on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But then towards the end, like I did put my message in it, and there is something something dastardly involved in that, you know, when it comes to her mom kind of like putting her on the front there and, you know, kind of abusing her for the most sense because she's a kid who shouldn't be showing her body on the internet. So I tried to keep it lighthearted, but I did kind of interject that. And so it kind of started coming into like, you know, a little bit of a social commentary comedy thing where I try to keep it light. And it's just, like I said, it's kind of evolving from that.
Not to get like way off topic, but have you ever thought about making like making your guy more animated, kind of like you ever watch It's a Gundam?
Yeah, no.
You ever thought about doing that?
Well, Gundam is actually one of the people who got me into this, believe it or not. Yeah. I reached out to Gundam before the Danielle Cohn video, and he kind of gave me a few pointers because pretty much when I started talking to him, he wasn't as big as he is now. He's not huge, but he's a little bit bigger. And we just kind of talked about it for a little bit, and he gave me a few pointers. And yeah, I would love to get behind a VR machine. I was actually thinking about like my iPhone 11 does those memoji, Animoji things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna do like one of those, like Vic Blanco was a big panda bear maybe for an episode or something. but Like, yeah, like I definitely, yeah, I'm looking into doing that. I'm not an artist or even good with computers for the most part. This has all been trial and error. But like every video, I try to do something a little different to get a little bit better with it. So I'm gonna definitely try to make it move at least. I can't draw at all. Like that little character is literally just like one of those generator things. It's like, he looks like me and it works, you know? So yeah. So I'm either gonna go ahead and just turn the camera on and just show my face so people see a little bit more action and add some of my effects, or I'm gonna just animate them a little bit more once I figure out how to do that.
Well, hold on, Vic. I gotta ask now, just because in your video when you were doing the when you had your avatar in his bathing suit with the little bubblies and the romantic music. So you went to the
Yeah.
avatar generator and you're just like sexy man
created
thong.
that.
Like,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It looks just like me too when I grow my mustache out. So if you look at that, like it's like that avatar is so me. Like once you guys see the face reveal, you're gonna it's really me. It's really me. You know, body and everything. I mean, I fluffed it a little bit on the lower half. I'm not gonna lie, but that's for the ladies.
Oh, jeez. That's awesome that It's a Gundam actually gave you some advice, though. I'm gonna have to tag him when we do this video now.
Absolutely. He stopped speaking to me though a little while ago. I think he got too big for me.
He's at like almost 500,000 subscribers now. That's
I know,
insane.
it's crazy. When I was talking to him, he was like at 80,000 or something like that. So he was, answering every email. And now, like, he hasn't responded to like 3 of my past ones. So I don't know if I made him angry or if he's just like, oh, do that peasant.
he's like, I ain't got time for you. Yeah, exactly. I ain't got time for you, peasant.
You're still in 2D.
He's unlisted some of his old videos. They're pretty neat. Some of his skits he used to do.
Yeah. Oh, he's funny. He's a really funny
He's a
guy.
funny dude. How would you describe your relationship with YouTube and social media?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've always come to the internet. See, I come from like way back dial-up AOL days, So, well, I use the internet first off, obviously was apart from looking up like, silly, like, I don't know, just wrestling videos and stuff like that. It was actually a great place to have some anonymity and just kind of get into like this global village, this huge forum, and kind of be a hyperbole of yourself. You come on right away with this anonymity. You have a screen name. You can call yourself whatever you want to be. You can be whoever you want to be. So when I was, maybe like a little bit more introverted, reserved in the real world, I could come on the internet and be boisterous and say what I really felt with no consequences, And I that's how I kind of still use the internet now. It's just like a huge forum, like this big global village for me to just come and speak to people, share my ideas, meet people. And, it's great for that. It's great for those types of ideas, and these delusions of grandeur that a lot of people are coming onto the internet now because things are getting monetized. We would have never dreamed of that back in the day when we were, going into these silly little forums on Angel Fire or GeoCities. You never thought you'd ever be able to monetize your ideas on the internet so easily. Mm-hmm. And now you see people come in with this idea of they're like an internet celebrity before they even have a following, and it's just these inflated egos, and I think that's really destroying kind of like the fun of what the internet was, and people are taking it so seriously when I think the internet has just been, it's just such a great place to troll.
Kind of like when you're fishing and you get the trolling motor going, you're like, all right, let's see what I can get.
Nothing better than that.
Exactly. Was that the final? I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off. I just want to make sure that was it.
No, it's good. No, that's pretty much what that's exactly how I feel about it. The internet's just a place to go and just share your ideas. Don't take everything so seriously. Have some fun, meet some people, share some ideas. And that's just kind of what I'm still trying to do. And like I said, I'm trying to innovate beyond that because I do still feel I got things to say. I just don't know how to say them without making so many people so angry at me.
All right, well, or no, I'm sorry. DWRelive, you got that next question? DW.
I put it on my phone.
There you go.
Increase this. Sorry.
This is great. I love that it's pre-recorded.
See it. I did not see the question. I'm sorry.
What was that?
Chris, you're gonna have to you have to read it for me. I cannot read the question. It's too.
Oh, okay.
It's too small.
I'll just go with it. So D-Dub was going to ask you, do you prefer Twitch off the cuff or YouTube produced content? What's your favorite style of content to produce?
I'm gonna like this is like kind of like a metaphor that I'm probably gonna repeat a billion times while we're doing this little interview thing. I'm a creative person, so I originally started off as a musician, right? So I like creativity is something you can't turn off, something you can't turn on. It comes to you, and when you get that itch, you got to do it. So like the way I look at Twitch and YouTube is like your album versus your live show. They're both fun. It just depends on how you're doing it and when you're doing it, who you're doing it for. There's nothing better than just being able to like go right live stream and just riff and just joke around and have live interaction with people and bounce off of that, because sometimes like you don't have it in you to just write a 45-minute script, you know? So sometimes, you know, your audience gives you ideas. And it's so much fun to just kind of joke with them. Even when you get trolled, you can kind of just go back at them. It's like, you know, it's good for the right time. You know, it all depends on how you're doing it and when you're doing it. But then obviously, like your album versions, you know, like when you can really like hone in on your skills and hone in on what you want to say, that's YouTube. That's where you can produce your content and you have the time and you can make it, you can polish it to what you really want to do. And I think if you're a creative person, you know, some people fit more into certain spots on this internet thing, you know, and people aren't molded for the whole thing. But if you're a creative person, you just like to create and you like to just jump on a mic and just talk and riff, like, you know, you're gonna need both of them, you know. And is Twitch gonna be the end all be all when it comes to that? It might evolve where like you can kind of do both at the same time somehow. Don't ask me how. I'm not a developer or anything like that. But I think in the future, I think we'll be able to kind of like melt that all together for the people who do that.
Have like a comedy show.
The thing is, it's funny because. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, you're good, Dito.
So what I was gonna say is you know, it's kind of funny because you have such quotable things. Like I remember watching your video and you're like you know, serve it up and give him my buttery liver, you know what I mean? Like just you have like that delivery, it's almost like a rhythmic delivery, you know, where you emphasize certain parts but you do it in like a pattern. I don't even know if you notice that you're doing it on purpose, because I just think it's part of your personality. But well, your delivery
no, I'm sorry. I didn't notice it at first. Honestly, I started off posting on Reddit and those small YouTuber channels, and actually somebody kind of like hated on me for it at first. They're like, "Hey, is this supposed to be slam poetry or something? What is this shit?" You know? And I'm like, what? No, I'm just talking. I'm sorry. Listen, I used to make music, so maybe I got like this iambic pentameter I don't realize in my voice. But listen, I'm not trying to do slam poetry or nothing. You know, this ain't Def Comedy Jam, bro. You know, but yeah, he hated it. He's like, "What is this? I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to do?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just talking."
I find that sometimes being a musician myself, I will sometimes like talk in a flow that doesn't. It's like, wait a second, this is a podcast. There's no flow to this. Oh, there is, but not like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that problem. I usually forget what I'm saying halfway through a sentence.
Yeah, and I knew you guys would definitely understand that, because you know you're a musician, Chris, and you know when you're literally talking into a mic, you guys doing so many of these podcasts, you're gonna get a flow, you know, and you're gonna eventually, you know, go into like autopilot, you know.
I listened to one of our old podcasts the other day, and I was like, "Oh, Lord!"
Why would you do that, Chris?
Well, I noticed how off the flow was. It was like there was so many pauses between when Will talked and when I talked, and I was like, "Ooh, this hurts. This hurts to listen to."
I would like to say we improved, but I'm not sure.
500 subscribers is nothing to shake a stick at.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Chris just keeps making new accounts. That's all that is.
I have actually never done that, other than the accounts specifically for our stuff. Mm-hmm. So we have like 4 or 5 accounts associated with CHRILLCAST. So only 1% of our subscribers are our own accounts, and I think YouTube does not even count those, because every time I subscribe with my own account, it doesn't count it. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't. Yeah, I mean, because it's become such a thing. Like I've witnessed so much of this botting stuff that's going on right now, and like I don't understand why people do that to themselves. I guess it's a way to inflate their own egos, but it's just silly to me. It's just so dumb. It's like, yeah, I got 10,000 subscribers, but they're all me. You know, I got 10,000 subscribers and 96 views on my last video. Okay, if that's what you like.
All right, well, what's that next question?
Yeah, so what is the most interesting thing to happen to your channel since you started it?
More death threats than usual. You know, I mean, obviously growing up where I've grown up and in the life I've lived, I mean, I'm not privy to death threats. You know, that happens, you know. People want to kill you sometimes, but not as much as when you talk about Pleasant Green. You know what? Like, I didn't even think he was such a big presence on the internet. He, like, at the time, I think he had something like 300,000 subscribers, under 300,000 subscribers. I'm like, let me just joke on this dude a little bit. I didn't even say like terrible things about him. You know, some of them were a little bit, you know, like a little shot in the ribs, but come on, I didn't go for his whole head. I got people wanting me to die, telling me I'm an idiot, uneducated. You know, I got the racist stuff coming in. I mean, I got everything came from that. And I didn't expect so much vitriol from just like, you know, if you go to my page and you actually look at my about section, it's a comedy page. I'm not a news channel. I'm not, you know, people in blogs or none of that stuff. I make jokes. I laugh at myself. I make jokes about myself, you know, and people really came for me after that guy, and like, you know, and even he didn't even have a problem with it. He like posted, you know, he commented on it. He was like, yeah, I like this video, it's kind of funny, you know. And oh man, like, and I still get them, you know. It's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the video. Hint hint, maybe a second one's coming up for that anniversary, you know. But you know, it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that, and I still wake up to like, hey, you know, you're stupid, you die.
Well, they're like, don't touch Pleasant Green.
Oh no! Oh, don't you dare put his face on a snake's body! How dare you? That's our god. That's our Saint Pleasant Green. How dare you? Yeesh.
Now, just for I think we already talked about this once, but for the record, you guys are good now, right? You guys have talked.
Oh, we're good. Yeah, we still talk and everything. I don't think it. I honestly, when I put that video out, I didn't think people were gonna think I hated him. I didn't think people thought like I was really coming for him. I thought it was like, you know, a gentle razzing. You know, I didn't think they were gonna look at it like it was so serious. You know, like I mean, look at my video. It's cartoons. You know, it's literally bad Photoshop. Stupid cartoons, my dumbass talking. Like, what's so serious about that, you know? But people took it really seriously. But no, we've talked it out, you know. And again, hint hint, part 2 might surprise you.
Now, to be fair, you did this very like straight laced. Like, nobody, like, it's hard to catch the fact that you're joking the first time you watch it, but once you kind of know you a little bit and you watch it a couple more times, it's like you start catching on the comedy more so than the first time you watched it. So anybody that watched this one time through, they might have missed the comedy altogether. They might have thought you were just taking this guy down, like, catch Pleasant Green.
Right. And I can understand that, you know, and I think that's something that I'm learning as I continue to do this YouTube thing, is like, everything is so subjective with so many different people. There's cultural differences. There's there's so many differences with how people react to things, you know. In my entire life, like, I grew up with my best friends making fun of me on a daily basis, you know. I grew up with my teachers telling me I was going to work in McDonald's or be in an orange jumpsuit by the time I was 25. Like, you know, and these were people that loved me. So, you know, it's all subjective, you know. So that's what I'm learning as I go along, you know. And at first, when I first started getting these really mean comments, I kind of like got offended for a second and kind of struck back and kind of hit them with the same type of vile comments back. And then when I kept getting more of them, I started realizing, all right, maybe this is my fault, you know. And then I just started kind of like trolling them a little bit and joking. And now, like, I'll heart and like every comment, regardless of, you know, what kind of Neanderthal they call me or whatever. Like, I roll with it, you know, because it's the internet. this is what I asked for. You know what I'm gonna do? Complain about it? I wanted to put myself out there. You know, so if you hate the way I talk, you hate my voice, you hate my stupid little character that has a really bad artistry to it, I get it. You know, but it's a comedy channel, so you got to take your lumps.
I definitely understand that. We've gotten razzed for much less stuff than that. Like Back to the Future 4, definitely don't ever try and cover that.
We got wrecked for that video. People, apparently that fandom is very strong. And they do not want another film.
We got paragraphs on Reddit about
don't even like bring up the possibility of another film or a reboot or anything.
Well, you know what? I almost canceled you guys about that myself. I am one of the Back to the Future fandom guys. You know what? Listen, if you guys want a little anecdote, because this is my video. It's my video, right? If you want a little anecdote, let me just tell you. When I grew up, they used to run Punky Brewster reruns on TV. And if you don't know what Punky Brewster was, it was like a 1980s sitcom about some little orphan girl, whatever. I fell in love with her when I was a kid. She was obviously way older at the time. And I decided to spend all my time when I was like 10, 11, 12. I went to the library, I took out Albert Einstein books, and I decided that I was going to build a time machine to go back in time so I can make Punky Brewster fall in love with me when she was my age. And the book was too big. Obviously, if you ever looked at an Albert Einstein book, they're huge. And I just rented the Back to the Future videos instead. And that solidified it for me. I knew I was going to get plutonium. I knew I was going to get a DeLorean. And I knew I was going to make Punky Brewster love me. So don't you ever, ever talk to Back to the Future 4 in my presence.
He's going to go back and like break down that video and just expose us now, Will. Like, you guys know nothing about Back to the Future.
Apparently not. I had no idea the fandom was this strong.
I didn't either.
Oh, it's huge. Oh, yeah, it's great. Love Back to the Future.
What is the most rewarding part of being part of the social commentary and all those type of videos you do? What's the most glorious part of YouTube for you?
Honestly, it scratches that itch. All right, like I said, this is a metaphor I'm going to keep using. I'm going to keep going back to it. I started off as a musician, and I'm just a creative in that sense. And the last record I released was in 2016. And I kept getting that itch and like making my own music in the background. And, you know, that's why I did stand-up comedy, and that was my own little thing. But now, like, it's so rewarding to, like, when you get that itch, there's nothing turning on the mic and just ranting on it and putting together some really bad artistry and some stupid memes and making it something that just flows and kind of turns into your whole idea in a funny way. It scratches that itch so well for me. And what's been extremely rewarding about it is, again, regardless of the people that hate me so much, I've gotten people that like me so much. I've gotten people that are like dedicated to checking out every video when I finally make it after 2 or 3 months, and they comment on it and they say, this is great, you know. And after my last video, which was like a little bit like not a Vic Blanco video, wasn't super funny. I put a couple of jokes in there, but I kind of just like dug deep and just said what I was feeling. And another creator came out of nowhere and was like, dude, I love you. You deserve more, whatever. He gave me some really sincere, heartfelt criticism and commentary, made a video about me on his channel. And that's rewarding in its sense, because not only was I able to get out like that burn that was inside my chest and my stomach, that like I really wanted to talk about what was going on, you know, I got that out. I was able to just create, and, you know, I took care of that little portion of me. But then to have somebody react to it in such a positive way, and even you, Chris, you came on and you said, hey, you know, blah blah blah, you did something that no other YouTuber did at the end of the video or whatever, and when I put the George Floyd thing, you know, like little things like that, when people pick up on when I put my thoughts into something, that's so rewarding to me, because not a lot of people get that. You know, there's people who hide away from the world and create, and nobody ever gets to see it, and it's just like their own little secret. When I got my secret out there and people actually genuinely appreciate it, there's no better feeling for an artist, for a creator.
I totally get that, because until you put something out there, it exists here and nobody else can see it. It is like your secret creative, you know, output, right? And if you never use it, nobody will ever hear it.
Right. Right. Which is still okay. That's still okay. People don't always
yeah.
have to hear it, you know, but it's nice when like because that's like such a vulnerable part of you. Your creations are you, you know, it's a
Yeah.
piece of you. So when people like it and they respond well to it, I mean, that's
Yeah,
good.
but that's what
It's
makes
great.
the world special is people actually sharing that special part of themselves.
Exactly. And that's why I love the internet. That goes right back to like, this is my forum. This is what I've jumped into as a kid. I've jumped into this world as like a superhero in my own right. And, you know,
Yep.
I've been who I wanted to be, and people have had positive reactions to that. And that can save lives for a lot of people, honestly.
So real quick, DWRelive has dropped off the call, so he will not be signing off. But thank you to DWRelive.
We love DW.
Exactly. So guys, go subscribe to DW, but you won't be hearing anything from him for the rest of the video. If you want to hear him again, though, he's also on our Tuesday video. So go back to the day before today and go watch it. That's your plug, DW. Hopefully you'll get some more subscribers out of that. Back to Vic.
Absolutely. Back to the Victor.
There you go, the Victor. What are some things that you have learned? And it sounds like some of what you learned is how to react to the commentary or criticism you've received. But what are some other things you've learned?
Honestly, it's almost been like it's like been like a sociological experiment into people, really. Aside from what I've already said or what I've already conveyed, it's like I've learned a lot about people in trying to collab or speak to other creators at the same level as me, just starting out, small platforms, just trying to make stuff. And not everybody's cool. Not everybody's that good of a person, you know? Some people are cool and they're out there and they're self-aware and they know, hey, I'm just doing this. I don't know, it's a hobby. I don't know what I'm doing yet with it. But then there's some people who come on here and they sub-bot and they get themselves like 2,000 subscribers off the rip for like $50 or whatever it is that they do. And they do the same thing on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever they do. You know, I don't know. I really haven't looked into it too much. But they immediately, you know, obviously when you have that type of following, I know even myself, when I'm looking at a video, sometimes I'm searching a topic and I see a video that has like 500 views versus a video that has 20,000 views, I pick the 20,000 view one first. But you never know if that person bought those 20,000 views, but I still do that. I still pick that one because I figure more people saw it, probably a better video. So these people, they feed off of that, and they get these delusions of grandeur. And I'm telling you, I have come across some like celebrities in their own right. And I mean, I've gotten into a couple beefs. I'm not gonna lie. There's Vic exposed videos out there. And granted, they're Vic exposed videos with 70 views, but they're Vic exposed videos, you know? And obviously, what are you going to expose me for that I haven't already said about myself? You know, like, nobody's going to do a good job at it. But that's what it comes down to, is like, sometimes people get too big for their britches too quickly. And especially like this rabid vitriol and these fandoms of people that can come out of nowhere. It's like, it's kind of scary sometimes, but then you remember, like, the internet is one big hyperbole of everybody. These people aren't going to be like that if they're in your presence. But it's still kind of scary to see how vindictive some people can be and how lost in their own sauce they can be. So that's something I've really learned. I've really learned about people, really, more than I have growing up or have grown up in my lifetime. Obviously, like, you know, growing up in the inner city, urban areas that I've grown up in, that's a study all in itself of people. But this is just something on a different level, and it's actually fascinating, and I think that it helps me to understand the content I'm creating.
I totally get that. And just to comment on the sub-botting, the biggest thing with sub-botting is, you know, that doesn't translate to views. I think the quickest way to more views, and Will, you can back me up on this, is making friends with other content creators that already have an audience, because if they appreciate what you're doing, then their audience will likely appreciate what you're doing too.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, like right now I have like something like 110, 112, something like that. I'm in like the 100 and teens subscriber count, but those are all real subscribers. Those are all real people that watched a couple of my videos and said, you know what? I want to see what he does next. And to me, that is worth a lot, you know, because I don't have 100 friends right now. You know, so to have 100 people who want to see what I do, that's worth a lot, you know, and I think that's special because I don't think I have a single video that's under 115 views right now. So that means not only are my subscribers watching my videos, but other people are. That's cool.
Yeah, it's always nice when your view count goes past your subscriber count because you know you're doing something right.
Yep.
We get that on occasion, but it's far less often than we used to. Could possibly be because of the frequency at which we release our videos. You can only really count on 10% of your audience watching a video once you start putting out daily content.
Yeah.
So
you can also only take so much of Chris and I, so I don't blame him.
Exactly, that's true. That's true.
Well, no, actually, you know what? And it is frequency does. I'll attest to that because every time you guys put out a new video, I put you in a queue. I have like my little queue of things I want to watch on YouTube, you know? And you guys put out so many videos at a time that I can't get to all of them, you know? So then I find myself kind of like cherry picking the ones I want to watch because you guys have so many, but I want to watch as many of them as I can. So like I can understand that. I don't think that it's because, you know, you guys are doing anything bad at all. It's just it's a lot of stuff to watch, you know? But I try to watch as many of them as I can. I'm pretty sure your audience is the same way because, I mean, generally I see you guys getting a lot of positive reactions for what you put out there. And you guys have gotten some really cool people on your podcast, on your show. And I'm, you know, like, again, back to the circle jerk thing.
I guess the theory there is that I would want people to watch what they want to watch as opposed to everything because you get burnt out if you just watch everything. Whereas like a channel like yours, I appreciate the fact that your frequency is not a daily upload. So it's like every time you put something out, I'm watching that, you know, and that's the advantage to not posting every single day, I think. And that's something I've learned as a content creator as well. Like if you're posting every once in a while versus every day, you have a higher likelihood your whole audience is going to watch it.
Absolutely.
Will, you got that next question?
Yeah. You want to take your question?
Yeah, we'll just do alternating to finish.
Yeah. What do you like to do in your downtime when you're not on the internet?
When I'm not on the internet? Oh, all right, yeah. Well, honestly, I'm a big like exercise guy. I'm definitely a person who's like really stressed out all the time. I have so much stress in my life. It's not even funny, especially nowadays. You know, there's so much stresses with everything going on in the world, and especially where I've been living at. I'm trying to sell my house right now. I'm trying to move. It's not very easy. I just got out of jail not too long ago. Wink, wink. What happened to Vic? That video, you know. And like I do, like, you know, like when I have spare time, I run. I like to run. I put my AirPods in, I put on like my favorite albums, my favorite music, and I just run. I run, whether it's at sun up, sunset, during the day, sweating, whatever. I just run, and that's always been like a great stress reliever, and it gets those endorphins going and just little bits of exercise. I really love doing that. That's something I really try to keep up because I honestly, you know, I'm sure so many people are getting out of shape nowadays because you're not going anywhere, not doing anything. So I you know, like I just try to keep my heart pumping, you know, and that helps me a lot. So like I'm one of like those boring exercise guys. I'm not going to be talking to you about the newest protein that came out. That's not me, but I do like a little bit of exercise. I like to do that. And then obviously, you know, just I read a lot. I do a lot of reading, whether it be, you know, just like fiction or nonfiction. I like to just keep my brain working because I've got like this phobia that if I don't keep working every muscle in my body, it's eventually going to shut down, you know, and especially my brain, because sometimes I feel like I'm getting dumber. I really do. And I'm going to work on not getting dumber.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think like looking at my phone makes me feel dumber during the day. So I really like being able to read at night and try to like refresh my brain.
Oh, it's the greatest. Actually, you know what? Speaking of looking down at your phone, and might be just a tangent. Good thing it's pre-recorded. But you remember like there was like what was it? It was like a news report like a year ago where they were saying like kids were growing horns on their spine or something.
Oh yeah, on the back of their head, yeah.
Because they were looking at their phone too much.
Yeah, because they're hunched over.
That is about the silliest thing I ever heard, and if it's true, then that's crazy. And I don't want horns either.
I will say there is going to be a whole generation of kids that actually don't have enough synapses in their brains because they don't form correctly if you look at your phone too much when you're younger.
Yeah, no, I've read that too. I've actually read that. And not to mention, a lot of these medications that they're putting, like, it seems like younger and younger they're putting kids on medications for, you know, whatever, ADHD, mental illnesses, whatever. And, you know, I mean, it could be for a reason. I'm not saying they don't exist, but supposedly a lot of these medications they're putting out also affect these synapses, or at least forming these bridges in your brain for your synapses to go across. So that's kind of scary, you know?
Yep.
I'm just picturing, you know, that the mom from Waterboy going, "Cell phones are the devil." That's what I'm just picturing right now.
What Adam Sandler movie is not so quotable? I think I quote like an Adam Sandler movie at least once every 2 or 3 days.
Yep, same.
Especially his older ones, right? His
Yep.
newer ones, I can't tell you the last time I watched an Adam Sandler movie in recent memory.
Oh,
But
yeah,
all of his old ones are great.
Yeah, I'm talking about the old ones. I like Jack and Jill or whatever, where he played the guy and the girl. No way, never even watched it.
I did watch it, but it was so forgettable. I can't remember what happened in that
wasn't
movie.
great. I remember one line from that, the womb mates. Because they're twins. I don't know why, but somehow I put that into my life. I will say that every once in a while.
Oh God, no need for context on that one. Oh man, yeah, no, anything early Adam Sandler. Like, I mean, I go back and watch him all the time. Like, you know, whether it's on Hulu or Netflix or whatever. If I'm bored and want to like just turn off, I'll watch an Adam Sandler movie for sure.
Just to keep going with your channel now, going forward, what are some goals for your channel?
Yeah, like as I stated earlier, like I want to innovate, you know, and I think that's what has been creating this this difficulty with putting out videos and like the frequency. I have something 10 scripts written and four scripts recorded already. I have like half finished videos, but I want to innovate, you know. I want to do something different. And like, if you do want to go back to my channel and look at what I've done, like even though I've done like the Ethan Klein video that everybody did, I hit it from a different angle. And that's what I want to do. I think the biggest thing I want to do, and I want to show people that you can question things without having to fight everything, you know? Like, just because you want to ask a question doesn't mean you oppose the topic, you know? And even like my last video where I got all deep and everything about the George Floyd situation, you know, myself being a person of color and somebody who would want, supposedly, quote unquote, would want as many allies as possible or whatever. I just wanted to ask the question that somebody else should ask. You never want to just be part of the masses. You know, you want to constantly be asking for that conversation, start a narrative, keep it moving forward, because, you know, human beings are so much more complex than black and white, even gray. Like, you know, like human beings are just complex people with so many emotions and so many contradictions. You know, things I said probably 6 months ago, I still don't believe today, you know? So you got to ask questions. You got to keep moving forward, because everybody has an agenda. I don't care who you are, you know? Everybody has an agenda. Just being human and trying to survive and support who we love or whatever it may be. Everybody's going to have an agenda, and we're going to have a bias. You know, and sometimes we have to be questioned to second guess ourselves and say, oh, maybe I'm not in the right lane right now. So I want to innovate. I want to keep asking questions while not being boring and still being funny. And it's not easy to do that. It's really hard, especially when you hate your life, you know? So I want to keep the channel growing. I want to keep doing different things, and I want to keep meeting people. So like every day, like, you know, even though I'm not posting, I am working on something. And if I need, like, say like somebody put a gun to my head and say, yo, you need to put out a YouTube video tomorrow or I'm going to shoot you or whatever, rape you, whatever it may be, I'm going to put it out. You know, I'm going to put out, I have a video to put out, you know, but it might not be my best work. And I want everything to be something innovative, something different, something challenging, and something funny. More than anything, I want to be funny. I want to still be funny. You know, because when you stop being funny, you might as well be dead. You gotta laugh or you're gonna cry. You know, life is too hard. It's just, things are difficult, you know, especially in 2020. We never expected any of this.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people saying hindsight is 2020 after this year's over. I
Next
really
one.
appreciate your drive to succeed and also continue to innovate and be creative. Like some people like you are the reason why I keep trying to reinvent how we do our podcast, because I want our podcast to continue to improve. And as I watch other people do the same thing, struggle to improve and get better and just do better things, I want the same for our channel. I want us to also do that. So I respect that drive significantly more than when I first started, where we were just talking into a camera and had our faces up on the
Yeah,
screen.
well, the thing is, like with our stuff, like we obviously had a really low starting point, so hopefully we can only go up from here. But you already started so high. Your content was already so good, and you already had such a unique style. And
Thank you.
it
I
is
appreciate
it is inspiring to hear you say like, I just want to keep innovating, I want to keep improving. And then, like I'm sitting here, it's like, man, you're already so good. It's like, what's gonna come next? I'm like genuinely interested how you're gonna make good on that promise of innovating. So yeah.
Well, just to interject, you guys also have grown so much, like, and I think that's what it is to just evolve and be human. I mean, how did we get to the top of the food chain? We have to keep moving forward, and I think evolving is just it's innately human nature, and if not, then you're in the wrong line of work, or you're doing the wrong thing. If you're not entertaining yourself, how you think you can entertain anybody else?
Yeah, I can honestly say I listened to one of our podcasts the other day, and I forgot for a minute that it was us I was listening to, and I was like, okay, it's sounding a lot better then.
Yeah. It keeps moving now. Your podcast keeps moving. You know what I'm saying? Not even just visually. Anybody who listens to it like on like on iTunes podcast, if they're just listening to the audio, it keeps moving now. Like you said earlier, you had like a couple spaces in the beginning where you didn't know what to say. You guys got the hang of it, and now it's moving forward. You guys just keep talking, and that's great. That's what somebody needs when they want to listen to a podcast.
Exactly. Every time you get a space in a podcast, it's like, whoa, where'd they go? All right, Will, you got that next question.
And I'm confused which one I'm on now.
You're on the number 9.
Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite content creators?
All right. Yeah, no, like I love like I'm big into like true crime stuff. I love true crime. So I don't know if you guys have checked out like Jim Can't Swim Psychology, JCS Psychology. He's got some good videos where it's like a mix of like the true crime channels where they tell you about like, a case that happened or whatever, but also he goes into like the interrogations of, the suspect or, ultimately the person who did it. And there's a little bit of like body language stuff in there and police tactics and stuff like that. So I find that very interesting. I love true crime stuff. I don't know why. It's just like that whole like, just stop and look at a train wreck type deal, like you just look at it and enjoy it and watch it and learn how to not be that way. So I like a lot of true crime stuff. So Jim Can't Swim, like they're also somebody who posts like once every 2 or 3 months. It's a great channel, and I always check out their videos. They're always like 45 minutes plus. And then with that being said, that chapter is also a channel like that where they just reiterate these like true crime stories, and it's like this. I think he's Scottish. I want to say he's a Scottish kid. If not, he's like Northern England, and he's a funny kid. He's really funny. He's got little quips or whatever. And he just tells you about like these true crime stories or whatever. And then just to like go into the same type of domain as that, you can have Derek Van Shake. If you ever watched his videos, he does like also the same type of deal. And if you want to try to spell it, I don't know if you can spell it. It's Derek VAN and then
I think I found it.
Yeah, that guy. He's cool too. He has like a shitload of channels, but the one I like is like his main channel because he does body language stuff. I find that really interesting. I think like
I've seen him before. I watched this video.
Yeah, he's cool because he kind of like breaks down, like I like body language breakdown because like I said, I'm not really a confident guy. I'm not super confident. I come off as cocky sometimes, but in my daily life I'm not super confident. There's things I don't know, there's things I know, but one thing I'm very confident in that I know about myself is just growing up the way I did, I can call bullshit from a mile away. I know bullshit, and I think that's something you might get from my channel. That's why like I call out what I call out. I can tell when somebody's lying to me. I can tell when somebody's full of shit, and I think I want to hone on that skill even more, and body language videos do it for me, like I like kind of learning like what little ticks in somebody's face means. So that's a cool channel. Aside from that, there's another channel, Captain Disillusion. This guy just kind of goes into like debunking just videos on the internet and also teaching you like video editing tactics and stuff like that. It's an also cool channel. Like he looks at like UFO videos or just like viral videos that try to pass themselves off as real but are really just CGI. So he tells you how it was done. That's a cool video. He's also very infrequent with what he does, but it's also a cool channel to check out. And then finally, I like Andre Turbay, Andre Turbaya, I think it is. He's like he's one of the animation channels, but it's almost like borderline commentary. So and actually fits into what we talked about on Monday, which was the Dr. Disrespect thing, because I think one of his newer videos was a Dr. Disrespect video.
Oh yeah,
so,
it was.
So that's really cool. You know, and it's just like animation. It's funny, it's light, and it's got a little bit of commentary. Plus, he has like this like little goose he walks around with in his videos, and not to tell you too much about me, and don't ask me about this ever again, but I have a stuffed penguin that I love very much in my bed, and I have feels for that.
I won't ask you about it, but I will tell you this: there's a channel called The Suited Bird, and he's got a penguin as one of his mascots.
I love the Suited Bird. I love the Suited Bird. I know the Suited Bird.
Okay,
I've
I didn't know if
actually
you did or
talked
didn't.
back and forth with the Suited Bird, and I think I'm subscribed to him, and I think he's subscribed to me also. If not, he's commented on a couple of videos.
Was it because of the penguin? No.
Not sure. Maybe the penguin will make a cameo in the next video.
There you go. That'd be great. I'm sure Suited Bird would like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just to wrap this thing up, is there anything that we've missed that you would like to discuss, or anything you would like to ask us?
To be honest, I mean, you know, like when we started this whole thing, I had complete confidence in the way you guys were gonna start this whole Q&A and everything like that. I knew you guys were gonna ask the right questions. I'm pretty sure I've said everything about me. You know, I don't like hearing that much about myself, so I don't know why anybody else would want to hear that much about me. But just to let, if anybody's interested, and if I'm gonna be releasing a video anytime soon, the answer is yes, within the next week. Do I know what it's gonna be? The answer is no, because like I said, my last video was so heavy that it's scaring me about what the follow-up's gonna be. So I don't know if my next video is gonna be about like Jeffree Star being a predator, or if it's gonna be about how I want the Angry Whopper to come back. So I can't tell you what the next video is going to be about, but I do promise that it's going to be different than my last one. There's going to be more effects. It's going to be a different version of me in it, and I'm going to continue to innovate, and hopefully I'll continue to make you laugh and keep you engaged. And maybe I can get over 114, 15 subscribers at this point. So, and honestly, I mean, like, I love you guys. So, I mean, all the questions I'm going to ask, I can ask a billion questions from you guys, but the video's already been going on for a while. So, you know, I'll ask you guys that in private. But, no, I really enjoyed this.
Awesome, man. You're officially part of Conversations with the CHRILLCAST now, so you're in the same playlist as everybody else that we've had these conversations with. So, in good company. In good company.
Everybody else. It's Vic and everybody else.
It's Vic and everybody else. But
it's everybody else in Vic.
there you go. Either way, however you want to do it. But we really appreciate you doing this with us, and we got to learn quite a bit about you, so that's always fun. And if you guys want, and you've gone this far into the channel and you have somehow not subscribed to Vic yet, on the end screen, but also, you know, if you just type in the address, youtube.com/Vic Blanco Prods. But in a minute, you're going to have a clickable icon right after this video is over. Click on his thing, subscribe to his channel, and go find him on Twitch somehow. I think I found him, so I'm sure you can too. As
Very
always,
easy.
As always, I'm Chris.
Not Will.
And I'm Vic, and I appreciate you hanging out with us. I really do.
And we will see you
The next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.